Hi families, I'm Victoria Waco, the Associate Director of Formation here at Transfiguration, and this video is to serve as an overview of our Children's Formation program for this year. This is very similar to what I presented to the parents at our parent information meeting that was on Sunday or Monday evening in September. But really, I know everyone's still in the process of making their decisions, so I wanted to make sure that I also recorded a video so that you could have the information that I presented there. I am recording this before I actually do those presentations, so if questions come up in those meetings that aren't addressed in this video, I will have those in the description box below, so you'll be able to have all the most up-to-date information. However, as always, you can go to our website for this information, or you can always drop me an email or give me a call at the office. So let's begin. Okay, everyone, now welcome. So this is the presentation about our family faith formation for the 2020-2021 school year. As a reminder, this is taking into account all of the different regulations, and this information is all based on currently what the information as of September 2020 that we have from both local, state, and national authorities on how to deal with the health crisis going on. I just first wanted to say welcome. I know that the fall and summer have been very difficult for families, and I just wanted to welcome you to fall 2020 and the fact that we have made it this far in this year. And truly, I just wanted to let you guys know that all the plans that we have for this year's faith formation are meant to be resources, are meant to be fun, are not meant to add stress onto your family. What they're really meant to do is give you bite-sized ways to celebrate our Catholic faith as your family and grow in faith as a family. To do that, we've kind of taken a hybrid approach this year made up of 3 different areas. There will be weekly lessons, there'll be bi-monthly gatherings, and then there will also be some amazing additional resources for you. In this video, I'll be focusing mostly on those weekly lessons and those gatherings. I actually have a separate video all about some of those really great additional supplies/resources we have for your families. So weekly lessons. This year we really were trying to figure out a way to make the lesson something that could be easily woven into your families and something that would be really tangible also and connect directly to our Catholic faith. To do that, we are using something called FLOM Gospel Weeklies. They're an amazing program that combine the doctrine, which are all those things, those lessons, those information really about the Catholic faith that your child will be learning slowly throughout their lives, but also with the liturgical life of the church. And what that means, that's all really fancy church talk, is the idea that every lesson connects with what the gospel is. So what your child will be hearing on Sundays, if you're in Mass in person, or if you're joining us via live stream or watching the live stream a little later, will be exactly what the lesson is based around that they'll be learning that week. What that allows them to do is connect faith with life a lot easier. So we're really excited, and it's also very easy. They are a 4-page kind of trifold handout that's easy to use. It is very approachable for your child. It isn't a textbook, it's a leaflet, which sometimes helps in the fact that it doesn't seem like another school thing. It almost looks like what they did at Children's Liturgy, if your child has taken part in that activity in the past. There is also an additional tiny book that kind of dives a little bit more into all of those different areas, but the really bulk of the lesson is all based around these little Gospel Weekly handouts. The other nice thing is there's only 3 levels of grades in this program. So there's Promise, which is K and first, Good News, which is 2nd and 3rd, and then the highest level, 4th and 5th grade. And again, because they're all based around the Gospels, if you have a child in 1st grade and a child in 3rd, the lessons are very similar. And especially if you're in those situations where you have kids that span multiple grades, it's a great opportunity to have your third grader learn the lesson and then even just using their own handout to teach the lesson to the younger child. So it can really help with that cross age and make it a little simpler for you for the lessons because they can teach each other the information. And again, they always harken back to what the Sunday readings are, what's going on at the Sunday Mass. So it really takes that focal point of our faith, right? That the most important part of our faith, which is that gathering on Sunday to celebrate the Eucharist, and weaves that into their lives throughout the week. So those are the 3 levels, and more information if you want to see examples of these handouts, if you want to see what the curriculum looks like, you can always go to Flom Gospel Weekly, and they have a ton of resources on their website. Speaking of resources, so we were really trying to figure out a way to make it easy for families. So we've actually partnered with St. Catherine's, and Karen Luke over there. We're both using the same curriculum and similar models to create weekly lessons. So we've created a YouTube channel, and you can go there, and basically for every grade level, every lesson, you'll see either me or Karen helping your child walk through their handout and the lesson. This is wonderful. It's meant to be a great resource and help reinforce the lesson. Also, if you think your child's getting too much screen time, they can do the whole lesson even without us. But this is really meant to be a resource for you, so you don't feel like you're having to teach the lesson every week. You can just plop them in front of a 10-minute video with Miss Vicky or Miss Karen, and we'll help walk them through it. Or you can have them work through the lesson alone if you don't want them to be in front of a screen too much. Also, on the Gospel Weekly website, there are other great resources. They have stories about the saints. They have stories connecting to the gospel. So there will always be links in those videos to additional wonderful resources provided by Flom. Monthly check-in. So this is very similar to what we did last year, but I've kind of revamped it with the help of one of my friends who is a teacher teaching elementary school kids. So it's just really a way for me to check in on the progress. I'm not big on testing. I believe faith is something that's always growing and maturing in us. So I don't like having a assessment tool. What I like to do is just have a tracking tool. In this Google form, what you'll find is you'll put your child's name in. And it's basic questions. How are they feeling? How are they doing? How did they feel about the assignments for that month? What questions do they have? It's meant to just really be approachable to see how this month's work is going and any questions that they might have. It's also really meant to see how everyone is liking this tool. This is new to us this year, so I always want to make sure that you're getting something out of it and it's useful for your families and for your kids. Gathering. So this was a very hard thing to come up with for me. With everything going on, I really wanted to find ways for families to come together, because I do believe there's something so amazing when families are able to come together and parents are allowed to share with each other and their kids are allowed to learn together. But I also always want to be respectful of where everyone is in the opening up process, and also making sure that whatever we do could very easily be switched to digital if we at some point during this year need to do that. Here are some of the safety guidelines that we've taken. One of the things is entry. So everyone that from now on will enter in the lower level of our building, and there'll be check-in stations on a tablet. Currently, right now, we're going to be using like a Google Form sign in, so just please sanitize prior and post touching the tablet. Sanitation will be right there for you. You can also always stop into the bathrooms to wash your hands prior to going up the stairs. For families, I'm kind of relying on you to kind of socially distance yourself, but there's plenty of room downstairs to social distance as need be. We'll also always have the building open up 15 minutes prior to the start of session time so that you'll have time to kind of slowly come into the building. I'm hoping, and I'm working very diligently on creating QR codes that will just be little laminated sheets that your family will keep with you that you can just scan in front of the tablet to sign in. But if you have knowledge in that area, please come let me know, because I'm working on it, but it's a little bit more complicated than I thought it would be. Of course, individuals must wear face coverings during sessions. One of the things too is that we'll be breaking up a lot into classrooms for a family activity. In those cases, you have the ability to close the door, the windows will be open, it'll just be your family in that room. So children, you can uncover your faces at that point if you feel comfortable doing that. And always, if your child needs a break, we have plenty of rooms where you can take them in just for a few minutes to get that break from the mask. I just want to be respectful to the fact that many of your children will be wearing masks all day at school, and I don't want them to feel like they're also having to wear them for a elongated period at our gathering. So please know those are always options, and I'm working very hard to give you time within our sessions to take the mask off if your child needs that. Social distancing. So we've been working very hard to set up tables so that social distancing is able to happen more naturally, and we're kind of going to be working with that as the year goes on. Also, we're going to try really, really hard to do some things outside to allow for broader social distancing. It's something I'm currently working on for our October gathering, which will be kind of like a celebration of the saints and a little bit of like a trunk or treat situation. So that's something we could do outside. And every time that we gather, looking for ways that we can be outside or socially distancing more whenever possible. Materials for gatherings. So all the materials will be organized prior to the event. And so I might have some form of check-in just to see what day you're coming, but you can always pick and choose the Sunday or Monday as we go along. The idea will be that the families will have all the materials kind of together, and then once the materials are used, there'll be buckets or bins to put them in so that they can be sanitizing prior to the next group coming in. So please know that that is a big piece that I am working on, is to make sure that all the materials are sanitized, only being touched by one family group, and that they are sanitized after they are touched. So it's a big part of what we're doing. And then of course that our spaces that we use are always sanitized and disinfected and cleaned throughout the day, and of course post any event we have in the building. Additional resources. So this is some of the things I wanted to talk about. One of them, of course, is our YouTube channel set up with me and Karen for St. Catherine's with all of the lesson plans. You can also always go to our Transfig YouTube channel. We live stream Mass there every weekend. We also post additional resources for prayer and families there. We have a Google Drive, again, set up for this year for all of our families. That way you can get all the materials. If for whatever reason, like I said, you're not feeling comfortable coming to a gathered session, in that drive, there will always be resources that you can use at home that kind of cover what we did, but at a family level. And of course me, I'm always a resource here for you. We also, of course, have our treasure box program and our monthly playlist, which you can see more about in a future video. And of course, catechesis of the Good Shepherd for our younger families with 3 and 4 year olds. So I hope that this information gives you a little bit better idea of what our program will look like this year, and a little bit comfort in knowing if you're choosing to do everything at home, or if you're choosing to come to maybe one of the gatherings and not all of them, that we have truly tried to meet you where you are and help this program work for where your family is. As always, you can ask me any questions, email, phone me, and I am here to work with you and where your family is. So thanks so much for watching this video, and I hope that this was helpful.